Yay! Pop in, say hi, let me know where you're from. It's going to take a couple of minutes for YouTube to get the notifications out there. But again, when you pop into the chat. Let me know where you're from. If you've never popped into my lives before, my name is Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside. And tonight we're exploring the inside. Sunday nights, I usually go live for an hour and a half on YouTube. And yeah, I'm pretty excited to divvy out some of the news and some of the things that have been going on during the week. And I'm looking forward to hearing from what's going on in other people's work and week, right? Lots of people are not working right now with the coronavirus going on. Andrew's here already. Andrew's one of my main moderators here. And you'll notice Cindy has a lot of moderators because there's a lot of chatting going on this channel when we go live. And yeah, I looking forward to seeing who pops in today. But usually it's Andrew. He'll usually start the conversations. And don't be afraid to pop in and say hello when you come in. Let us know where you're visiting from. And yeah, get to meet some of the moderators who pop in. Again, it's going to take a few minutes. It takes a few minutes for YouTube to get all the notifications out there and let everybody know. But you're going to meet some really, really amazing people. Some people who've actually been with my brand ever since the beginning, since 2014. I've been on YouTube since 2014, and I've been doing these weekly lives now, I guess, for almost 2 years, maybe a little bit more than 2 years, because I think I was doing urban exploration at the same time, right? Today I was actually looking at vehicles, looking at cars, and I always wanted the Dodge Nitro. I'm always attracted to that vehicle. And it turns out they haven't made them since 2011, but it seems right at this point they're in my price budget. So, you know, it's funny how things arrive. And it's kind of like that idea that I keep talking about, the Jeep Wrangler, right? The Rubicon Unlimited 2021. And yes, I'll get that vehicle somewhere down the road. It might be in 2041, but I am positive and I'm optimistic that vehicle, because I wanted it so badly, because I admired it so much. Somehow, some way, sometime, right, down the road, that vehicle will end up sitting maybe outside my window. Maybe I'll look out my beautiful picture window and I'll see it parked on the road right there with a great big bow around it. And you can be guaranteed I'm going to know it's mine, or I'm going to be very, very embarrassed when I jump in and take off in it, right? Right? But if I saw my Jeep sitting out there with the big bow, I would believe that it was mine. That's how determined and how sure I am that I will get that vehicle. But it's funny, right? Because, you know, it was 5 years ago when I got in that accident with the Chevy Trax, right? And I thought, I'm looking at vehicles just to get a used vehicle, something where I could manage the payments and, take some of that load off of my sister. But my sister convinced me that it was a better deal to get a new vehicle. So we got another new vehicle with that. But I was looking at the Nitro. I really, really enjoyed I really, really liked the big tires. I liked that it had a tow hitch. I liked that it looked like a truck, that it was so big that it looked like a truck. I like the space in the back for me for camping. So I'm really looking forward to maybe checking out a few Nitros when I go out to get my vehicle. This week on March 1st, I made my appointment for my eye exam. So we'll be getting a new pair of glasses. That's going to cost me a pretty penny. But you know what? That's progress, right? Because that's not something I've been able to do for myself over the past couple of years. I haven't been able to do anything for myself in taking care of myself, right? I have some dental I need to take care of. I needed to take care of the glasses. I needed some clothes. I had lost all that weight. And look at the job that I got, that amazing job that I got has got me an amazing wardrobe. one of my Mexican dresses, and I should have known because I shrunk the Mexican dress that I'm wearing right now. I shrunk it a little bit. It's a mini dress now. It wasn't originally a mini dress. It's a mini dress now. But I bought another Mexican dress, and it's definitely a mini dress because I've gone and washed it and I've shrunk it. Just like my favorite scarf. You guys have seen the scarf, and it was the most beautiful, beautiful scarf ever. And I washed it, and it's the size of a hanky now. Well, I'm exaggerating on that, but it's not nearly as beautiful as it was. It's much heavier though, but yeah, it lost the way it looked, and I didn't realize that maybe I shouldn't have washed it like a regular piece of clothing. I hand washed it when I first bought it, but I didn't want the wrinkles, so I put it in the machine and the dryer, and yeah, I shrunk it really. I shrunk it really bad, and it was one of my favorite scarves. I've been collecting really, really nice scarves at work, and this was one of them. But we learned through the process, and isn't it good to know that when you purchase things secondhand, we should still take care of them because they're such good quality and such a good product. But when you do ruin them, if for some reason you do spill a cup of coffee down that beautiful silk blouse, or you shrunk a beautiful scarf, that you don't feel so bad, because I only paid $1.50 for this one, but it was a very, very expensive scarf at one time, and it was done by hand, and somebody did all that embroidery work on it and everything, and I destroyed it. I shouldn't laugh. Somebody put a lot of love into it. Just like my Mexican dresses, right? They're not always done by a machine. I'm sure lots of these dresses are done by a machine now, because you can do like 10 of them in one day, right? And get them out there. But the ones that I have are beautifully hand. There's no way a machine could embroider them the way that these are embroidered. So yeah, my Mexican dresses, I just got to remember that I've got to hand wash them from now on. So I won't wash my Mexican dresses in the washing machine anymore. But I have 3 of them now. So you would think that Cindy would be satisfied with 3 of these dresses, but they're just so pretty, right? They're so pretty, and they're so my style, and they're so comfortable. They make great house clothes. Just to wander around the house all day in a house dress. It felt really, really comfortable. Yeah, Andrew, we shouldn't mess around with our eyesight. No, no doubt at all. And I was actually talking about that, Andrew, on one of my Instagram lives. I do a show every day. I do 2 live shows every day on Instagram. And I was saying last week in one of my live shows that what did they do 300-400 years ago? It wasn't like they could go to the optometrist and get a pair of glasses. So when your eyes fail, because usually your eyes do fail somewheres in your 40s, the muscles around your eyes relax and you don't see as well. Usually end up in very least in some reading glasses and everything. But what did they do for their eyes? The poor people, right? The people who couldn't afford to get glasses. Like it kind of makes you think, right? And it kind of makes you feel grateful that we live in times that we do. It's going to cost me a whole paycheck to get my glasses replaced, right? But these were things that I needed to accomplish. I should have done this 5 years ago, but I had gotten myself in such a pickle with my life, right? I had put myself into such limiting beliefs that I just didn't think that I would be able to pull myself out. It took a long time. Well, I was actually just talking about this on my Instagram, and in reality, it really wasn't that long. It was a couple of years, but I had decades of limiting beliefs, right? I had decades of that really negative self-talk that I did to myself. I had decades of being a codependent and really mirroring what people thought of me. Like I had no clue as to what life was all about, and I just kind of went about things just on my own. I'm just going to have a sip of my diet pop. I know I shouldn't be drinking pop, and this is my last bottle, my very last bottle. I've got juice in the fridge, ready to go. My diet starts, and I'm back on it. But this is the way I go. I'm going to diet for a month, then I'll be off my diet for a couple of weeks, and then I'll be back on my diet. This will be a lifetime battle for me, because this is my biggest addiction is food, right? Pastries and desserts, and right. I am an overeater, but I am very grateful, because it could have been, my addictions could have been, right? I could have been a heroin addict, or I could have been an alcoholic like my grandfather. I could have been, right? I could have been like in pills. I hear that people go to the doctors, and the doctors just get them hooked on visits and these minor issues that they have, and then they get prescribed medication for these minor issues, and then these prescriptions cause side effects that cause doctors to give you other prescriptions to treat the side effects, when originally it was just that first medication, right? I think my sister got into that system, right? I think my sister got in there. I mean, I'd like to think she's getting some good care, but I don't go to doctors, right? I don't go to doctors. I don't take medication. I take my vitamins, but I haven't even been taking my vitamins regularly lately either, right? So it's hard to say, right? It's hard to say. Let me turn my volume down here on my computer, and let's take a look at some of these comments. Oh, Nancy's here. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Let's see who else is here. Andrew's here. Let me just close this out and read some of these comments. Yeah, Andrew, definitely don't play around. Don't play around with your eyesight, Andrew. If you think you might need new glasses, get your new glasses. I put it off for a long time. Like I said, I should have had my new prescription over 5 years ago, but I just couldn't afford to do it. And sometimes, we don't prioritize what's most important. We don't, right? We look at things that will make us comfortable in this exact moment. Okay, in this exact moment, I don't need my glasses. I don't need my prescriptions to be really good, right? I'm not thinking about that book I want to read, or the headaches it's going to give me because I'm straining, right? That I can't see details and a price tag at work. That my glasses don't fit well on my face, and then I got a little sore on my side of my nose, right? We don't prioritize ourselves. So yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing, is I'm going to start prioritizing myself a little bit more. I'm going to treat myself a little bit more like I matter. And I think that's important for everybody on this crew, to treat each other, but treat yourselves like you matter. So let's just take a look at these. Oh, Nancy, and I emailed you too this morning. I sent you an email, or I sent you some messages, some DMs. Oh, I must be thirsty. That was a big gulp. I'm sorry to hear that, Nancy. So they tried to set your building on fire again? Wow. I can see why you didn't get to my messages then, Nancy. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. Definitely, your system comes priority. Your system is number one priority, to bring your system down. Like right now, we should all be in hairy scaries, right? But try to stay calm. Like something good will come of this, right? It always does. It does, Nancy. Every time. And it's our panic will just make it worse, worse, worse. And I'm not one for lecturing, but how many of these situations have you been in and you've come out of, like with flying colors too? So yeah, I really hope things turn around for you right away. Yeah, they were saying something about last night was a big turnaround in uh in the system, and things should start to feel a lot better, right? That we should be going more to the light, and it should be pretty good right up until the middle of the was it the end of February, middle of February. I should have written it down. But yeah, check my messages. I was just sending you some good cheer. I was thinking about you this morning. I actually thought about you when I went to bed last night. And when I got up this morning, I said, okay, just make sure you shoot Nancy a little email just to see how she's doing. I know you popped into my live a couple of days ago when I was on Instagram, but I was thinking about you a couple of times, and that tells me that I should have checked in on you. Yeah. Yeah. Nancy, you don't worry about us over here, right? We'll be sending you thoughts out there the best that we can, whenever we can. And something will turn up. You've been keeping your internet going for, well, you just switched that over, didn't you, about a month and a half ago, and they're letting it, they're cutting it off already? Yeah, that's pretty lame. Yeah, pretty rough pill to swallow, right? Just when you got it all sorted out, we were so excited for you too. That was your phone, right? You take your internet on your, oh, plus you have, and plus you do like me, right? You do like me with the internet too. I know, Nancy, because I was in that exact same boat last year, right? And I know, like, they'll be knocking on my door. I've been checking my mailbox, and thankfully nobody's gotten to me yet. But I expect they're going to start garnishing my wages and stuff. So I really want to get my glasses done ASAP, and I need to get that vehicle. If I need to, I want to push my brand the way I want to push my brand with Mother Nature and my back road explorations. I need a vehicle. And I was looking at vehicles today at the Dodge Nitro is one of the vehicles that I'm looking at. I think in my price range I might be able to manage that vehicle. So they don't make them anymore. They discontinued them in 2011, but I was looking at a 2008 Nitro today. So I'm really hoping that maybe, this would be a vehicle that might be good for me. I know it might break down, but if I got CAA, they could tow me into town or something for $12 a month if I break down out in the back roads or something, that maybe, they'll at least get me towed into town and I'll be able to figure something out. But yeah, Nancy, don't be giving up on anything, right? Don't be giving up. Something's always going to work out for you in the end, and nothing keeps you down for long. I'm really sorry to hear about those two apartments. I know you were having problems, but yeah, that having the two apartments go on fire right underneath you on the second floor, like one floor underneath you, like, yeah, very, very lucky that the damage wasn't so bad that they were just saying, everybody's got to go. There's just too much fire damage, right? So at the very least, got to be grateful that you still have a roof over your head. But who am I to lecture? I'm coming out of my worst year ever, right? And I know exactly. And it's scary not to know whether or not you're going to have a roof over your head, or if your problems are going to be so overwhelming you don't know how you're going to cope, right? But the best that you can do is to keep your system as calm as it could be. Some of the things that I did is I took lots of baths. And I know it's hard for you, Nancy, right? Because of the chair and everything. But even if you sat in the chair in the shower and just let the shower beat on you, right? I live right behind a fire station, so I listen to fire trucks. My cat's used to it, but I'm still not used to it. It always draws my attention, and when they drive by, I just give them a little well wish and hope that everything is okay and where they have to go and what they have to do, right? But that's all we can do, right? Sometimes that's all we can do is just send out a well wish. And yeah, definitely, Nancy, I'm sending you well wishes, and I hope that you're able to get back online real fast, and hopefully you don't have to sell that layout of yours. If you're here and you haven't popped into our lives before and hung out with us in the comments, you're more than welcome to pop in. You don't have to pop in, but I have an amazing crew here, and yeah, they sure know how to chit chat. That's for sure. Yeah, and it's unfortunate sometimes, like I said, sometimes you can come in on Sunday and have great conversations, and we always have great conversations, but sometimes those conversations are heavy, and sometimes those conversations are light, and sometimes they're absolutely hilarious. And you'll Melvin will be here soon, and he likes to go off about the politics. But this is an open platform. This is when people come into my lives, I want everybody to be themselves, no matter who they are, no matter what culture you're from, what political views you have, what religious views you have, right? I just want everybody to be themselves. Oh, not at all. Not at all, Nancy. Not at all, for sure. Like I was saying, sometimes the conversations are heavy, sometimes they are light, but every single one of them is important. And I would not be happy. I would not be happy if you didn't mention and build us in on what's going on with you. And that was exactly my intent when I DM'd you today, too. So, yeah, don't feel sorry in the least, because you never know where that help is, Nancy. Because if we don't know what's going on, that person or that event, right, won't have that opportunity to help you out. You never know, right, who that person is going to be. Always, always. Exactly, Andrew. Like, listen to Andrew. That's what this Sunday night is all about. That's what this Sunday night is all about. We have to support each other, right? Like, that must have been absolutely terrifying, right? To have two buildings going on fire right on a floor right underneath you, and then have nobody to support you in that hairy, scary of your day, right? That must have been absolutely just heartbreaking and just totally discouraging. And just to think that nobody cares. At least here, when you come in on Sunday nights to our live, don't we just envelop you? Don't you feel like you matter? And that's what I want my live shows to be about, right? So that everybody can feel like they matter, because it takes all kinds to make the world, and we all go through poopy things. We all go through things that we don't want to go through, or we don't think we can manage to go through, or we can't take one more minute of. But what choice do we have? We don't really have any choice except to just just deal. It's adapt and conquer, right? It's adapt and conquer. Yes, Melvin likes to talk politics, and that's good, right? And Melvin's always polite, right? We don't get the full blast of his real thoughts, but enough to understand where his point of views are, right? For sure. For sure. And that's how I feel, Andrew, right? Because yeah, we want to know if people aren't feeling good, right? We want you to speak up. We make our breakthroughs. How many breakthroughs? Remember Robert's breakthroughs with his problems? Remember his wife and daughter, and he was trapped in the basement. And I haven't heard from Robert yet. And I know he hasn't seen my lives because each time I call him, if you're watching this live, Robert, if you're watching this live, just shoot us a comment. Let us know that everything is good, right? At the very least, shoot us an email because we haven't heard from you since before Christmas and it makes us worried. And that's why it's important for people to speak up, Nancy, because we do get worried, right? Because we do get worried. So yeah, don't feel bad at the very least. I'd let it all go on these lives. That's what the chatter is for. That's exactly what the chatter is for, right? And how many times have I come in live and I've let my whole week's woes just spew out of me? And how good have you guys been and supported of me and let me know that things were going to get better, that it's not forever, that things change and right? Yeah, it makes me feel bad that I can't do more except to sit here and support you guys in your own struggles, in your own woes as you move forward, right? But you are moving forward and you're still here and lots of people just give up. Lots of people just give up and say, why bother? And then that's what happens is they just dive into their addictions or they just give up totally and yeah, maybe end up homeless or self-loathing, right? Or as an introvert, not interacting with other people, not even online. At the very least here, being an introvert, that I have this opportunity to go live with everybody on Instagram every single day. And then for an hour and a half on Sundays, I can have conversations with people that I absolutely love and people that have been with me for years and people that I have actually had physicals, like Sharon coming up from California and spending a couple of weeks with me here last summer, right in the midst of my hairy scary, of my big awakening of right. That was tough. And I had big goals I was working towards and I was trying to keep up the momentum and it was nuts. So, but you know what? We had a really good time and I learned a lot. There were lessons in that. And I got to realize that truly, truly it does take all kinds to make the world. And even though we were on different journeys, our journeys still depended on the same lessons, And she was going to do just as much good out in the world as I was. But that physicality is what we needed, right? We needed to physically rub shoulders with each other. And these things happen, right? And that only happened because she was with me for years, right? Because it's not like, somebody's going to come in live with me, for one or two times. And then I'm going to say, come out and hang out with me and come stay with me in Winnipeg. No, it takes a long time to get to know people, right? Because again, it's safety first, right? We have to feel safe. We have to feel comfortable, right? Oh, 100%. Yeah, so it's important to say what you mean always. And you're right. And like I said, we won't know what's going on if you just came in like Nancy, right? And just supported everybody in the live comment. We would have picked up that you were sad, like, because we are all intuitive here. We're all empaths here. We would have all picked it up. We would have picked up that you were sad, but you would have kept that to yourself and we would have had no idea. Maybe one of us would have blamed ourselves that, oh, maybe we said something to insult you or make you feel bad, right? Or, we wouldn't know at all. We wouldn't even second guess it at all. We would just say, oh, maybe she's just having a quiet day. Maybe she's just not in a talking mood today, right? But unless she says something, we're not gonna know. We're not gonna know. So yes, definitely. So Nancy's gonna have, like, if my windfall comes through, definitely I'll help you out, Nancy, right? But yeah, this coronavirus and this situation that this world has gotten ourselves in is playing games with everybody's lives, right? And all we can do is ride those waves. and try not to pay attention to what's going unless it's right in your immediate field, like it is with Nancy, right? I've watched a couple of documentaries now on what's going on in Seattle, and I feel so bad for you, Nancy, that you've had such a rough year, that you've had all these terrible things happen to you this past year. But yeah, it's been struggles all the way around, and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to watch people suffer, isn't it? It's heartbreaking to watch people suffer. And I am sorry, because now I'm thinking about it all my lives and everything. And I really cried the blues for quite a long time. Every Sunday I would just talk about all how afraid I was and how I was going to lose my apartment and all these troubles that I was having with my sister and stuff. And then, you guys would just all lift me up the whole time, and you never, ever once judged me. Not one of you guys ever judged me, right? And some of you actually supported me, and some of you actually, did great kindnesses, out of pure love for me. And, this is why I do these lives, right? Because if I can move myself forward, I know that other people can too, right? Oh, Norm's here. Norm. Happy to have you, Norm. Oh, awesome. Yeah, they were trying to do that here. They put a hold on everything, but now they got the word that they can go ahead. They're trying to make things feel a little bit norm. I'm just really hoping that there's going to be some debt forgiveness. I'm really hoping that governments, in the States and in Canada are going to put some debt forgiveness in place. I don't know what car dealerships are going to do for selling vehicles, because nobody's going to have good credit to buy a vehicle. So there'll be really some high interest rates when it comes to purchasing vehicles. I'm going to assume that. Oh, Owen's here too. Oh, thank you, Norm. I appreciate that you saying that you watch my YouTube videos. I appreciate that. Yeah. And like I said, there is no judgment like ever. It takes all kinds to make the world. And you know what? I have such great moderators. I mean, look at all those moderators that I have, and they're not all here yet, right? But they are amazing, and they would never let anybody say anything unkind to anybody who comes into the comments ever. So sometimes we have to, right? It's a hard call for me, because I believe in taking baby steps. When we have great fears and things, I believe in taking baby steps in order to overcome our fears, right? To learn not to be so afraid. But some people really believe that sometimes we just have to push through our fears. And I would probably think it's a fine dance between the two, right? That it's a fine dance between the two. And sometimes we do have to push through those fears of ours, right? Oh, Sharon's here too. Hi, Sharon. We were just talking about your trip up here to Winnipeg, right? That determination to make a trip and everything that you did, right? She went through a little bit of rehab on her legs, because we were doing walks every day because we didn't have any money, right? So we would do things like go for a walk every single day. And long walks too, right? Really enjoyable walks. And yeah, it was a really nice visit, Sharon. And I wish I could have done more for that visit, right? I really wish I do. But that's how important, right? It's how important it is for us to be supporting each other, right? And she was super supportive. Like, I was hairy scary. I was planning a big trip and everything when she was here, and I was leaving for my trip the same day as she was leaving to go back home. And it was just a stress fest, right? It really was. And yeah, I might not have been the most perfect host for her, right? But, hopefully when the ship comes in and things are rolling much better, then I'll have an opportunity to do kind things for, say, Nancy and her internet, and Sharon. Let's do another try at this coming to Winnipeg thing, right? And then we got our passports, and by the time all this coronavirus and everything is all over, right, it'll be time to renew our passports all over again and do that process over again, right? So funny. But that's all you can do is say it's so funny, right? What's the point of grumbling and complaining and crying and stressing and making the system so vibrational that you can't even think anymore, right? That buzz in your system is so loud that it's so hard just to calm it down again, right? But like I said, there were so many different things that I would do, right? I had food. Food was great at calming me down when I was stressed out. I had my evening walks, right? And I'd had my bike rides. I had my live shows that I could do, right? And like I said, I could come on my live shows and I could just complain and cry and whine and grumble, right? And all of you guys just lifted me right up, right? We have to be able to do this for each other at all the times, right? At all times. It's like, here in Manitoba in the middle of winter, everybody's driving down the highway and a car breaks down on the highway. He pops his hood. By the time he gets out of this car, he's already got 2 or 3 vehicles stopping to see what they can do to help them out, right? We know that none of us can survive without the person standing next to us. And I hope everybody feels that off of me, just because I don't have the resources, right? And maybe I do have the resources, but I just don't know how to access these resources, right? But I think of you guys all the time, and it's strange, right? Because I thought of you, Nancy, before I went to bed last night. And this morning I said, Cindy, email Nancy, send her a message, see how she's doing, right? Because she's always there for you to check in on how you're doing. And yeah, things are a little bit quiet there. How's Nancy doing? How's Nancy's system feeling right now? Is there anything we can do to make Nancy's life a little bit easier and a little bit less stressful? And I'm really sorry to hear about those fires going on the floor underneath you. And I really hope it doesn't affect your living conditions in any way, but I can understand how scared you are, Nancy. I'm really sorry to hear that. You were definitely not. You were the perfect. Sharon was so clean. Like, oh my goodness. I felt so inadequate around her because everything was so tidy when she took care of herself. I didn't have to do anything. The house was all clean all the time. And yeah, no, not in the very least, Sharon. You were an amazing guest. And I wish I was in a better situation where I was able to give you that experience of how beautiful Manitoba truly was. Yeah. I keep remember going down to see the train station on that rainy day, right? That rainy day. And if we had waited just one more day, we would have had a beautiful day to go exploring. And yet we went for that rainy day drive. And you know what? I love the rainy day drives, right? I do. I love the rainy day drives. Me and my dad used to go off and we used to do rainy day drives all the time, right? And living in Vancouver, rainy days are just beautiful to start with, especially, with the rain pounding on the roof. Good sleepies, right? Good sleepies. I hope so, Nancy. I hope you can settle that system. Have a cup of tea, right? Maybe watch your train, play with your train a little bit tonight. Maybe during the lives, right? Melvin will say something funny. You'll have a good laugh, right? So I watch you guys' posts too. Like some of you guys are really quite humorous. with your posts. Like if you guys watch Cindy Vlog, she's another urban explorer out of Nevada, and she's a mature lady, but boy, does she have a good sense of humor. She has a terrific sense of humor, and I love her posts on Instagram. And Kathy too, she posts on Instagram and she does those adult colorings. And she's been really putting out some inspirational work, and she's been like dedicating her pictures and stuff to people. So I know it works. I know if one person just keeps going, that everybody else will inch along too, right? Scary or not scary, right? If Nancy can do it, right? Cindy can do it. If Sharon can do it, Cindy can do it. If Andrew can do it, Cindy can do it, right? We all support each other. And hopefully you guys think I support you, even if it's just emotionally support you or give you at least a platform that we can all get together on Sunday nights, right? For a couple of hours. I really enjoyed our evening walks when we went up to Assiniboine Forest, right? And I really liked those when we were walking through fall and looking at the mushrooms and the rattling of the what kind of trees were there? They were the white pines or the aspens, the rattling of the leaves when they were all dried out. It was absolutely beautiful. I really loved our visits, right? I loved our talks. I loved how you supported me when I was stressing out. You gave me space when I thought I needed space, and right, it was really I thought it was lovely. I thought you were absolutely lovely. And that last night, the night before my trip, the night before my trip, and I realized I didn't have enough money for gas for my trip, and I went into panic mode because I was judging the cost of my trip in Canadian funds and not American funds, right? And I ended up being short by about $50 for my gas to get to Toronto. And I was so worried I was going to run out of gas on my way to Toronto. And that very night, before Sharon went to the airport, she gave me a card just to thank me for the visit that she had and everything. And inside the card, she gave me $50 bill, but she couldn't afford it either. This was a very expensive trip to come to Winnipeg to visit me. And she had a lot of things going on. She had dental work that got ruined, and she had all kinds of expenses at home, and she had a son that she had to worry about, right? So I didn't want to take any money from her or anything. I ended up borrowing the money off of my niece, but the thought that you did that and the lovely card, and I still have that card. It's in my YouTube journey file, and yeah, it'll always be there. It'll always be there, Sharon. Yeah, special place. That's a special memory for me, right? That's a special memory for me. Oh, Owen, that's nice of you to say. I would like to think that I support people, but sometimes I worry that it's the physicality, right? Because growing up, it's the inside and the outside, they were kind of like the same thing. So if I wasn't helping you out physically, whether or not I was doing work for you or solving problems for you or something, I didn't think that I was actually helping out. But sometimes we just help out by just being there. Sometimes that's enough. And I hope that kind of thinking is good thinking, because I feel it off of you guys. Like that terrible year that I had, right? And I grumbled and complained every Sunday night I come on and I cry the blues and everything. You guys lifted me up, right? You guys kept me going. My channel wouldn't be here still if it wasn't for you guys, right? I have a chance now of actually getting back on the road in another couple of months. I'm going to have a car. I'm living within my means. I'm not living beyond my means anymore, right? If I have the money, terrific. If I don't have the money, right, then I don't have the money. So this is going to be a different way of living and a different way of thinking for me, right? But at least I surround myself with good people now, people who have my best interests at heart just as much as I have their best interests at heart. And that's what the difference was, right? That's what the difference is the fact that, that I truly am around people who actually care about me now, right? Is that what they're doing, Melvin? That'll be going off all the time. That alarm will be going off all the time. That's even me. I'm within three feet of people all the time in my job. There isn't even 3 feet. Our aisles are 3 feet wide. So just passing somebody in the aisle will bring you within 3 feet, right? Yeah, it's that's going to be interesting. But you know what? With these vaccines being played out, don't you think that it's just a little bit of a waiting game right now for a couple of months before we get our shots and everything? I hope we're just in a stance of waiting right now. I hope we're getting close. I haven't been paying attention to the news. I'm looking straight ahead, people. I'm not involving myself in the politics. I'm not involving myself with the hairy scary that's beside me. I'm just looking at that light straight ahead and I'm just moving forward. I'm just moving forward, right? I could think about what's going on afterwards, and by the time I get to where I need to be, this will be old news and it won't concern me anymore, right? Wow, 7 times you've been tested. Isn't that interesting, Andrew? I haven't been tested once yet. And I have been at work full time for months now, since December. We got shut down for a few weeks this fall, but I went back to work in December, and I've been at work full time ever since. And I'm grateful for those paychecks, but I'm so tired. Like I'm totally exhausted. Like I did 5 loads of laundry or 4 loads of laundry today. I got some baking done. I got some house cleaning done. I swept and washed my floors. I started tumbling rocks. I took my rock tumbler out and I started my rock tumbling because I wanted to give everybody on my lives on YouTube a rock, their very own rock that I did. But I have to find somebody who's got a garage or something because this tumbler is pretty loud. It's pretty loud. I can't leave it running. I can't leave it running. I let it run for an hour today. My cat didn't like it. I let it run for an hour today, but I had to turn it off. My neighbors would have complained for sure if I had left my rock tumbler on. So I have to wait until and I've got grit and stuff in there. It's ready to go. But yeah, it needs a garage or something where I could actually keep it on. It has to tumble for 2 weeks in order for them to polish properly. And then I think it's 2 weeks. It has to stay on for 2 weeks. And then I have to put another package of rinse them. And then I have to fill it up with another package of something. And then I have to let it go for another week. And then I have to rinse them. And then I have to put my final polish on them. So it's a big process. But I thought I wanted to give everybody one of my rocks. But yeah, it won't be quite yet. I have to wait until I can afford to live in a house with a backyard, with a fire pit. Listen to me, people. I just moved into my apartment. I just settled into my apartment and I got my big picture window. Remember, I kept saying, oh, I'm going to miss my big picture window. And yet I got another one. I got another big picture window without even realizing and knowing that I was going to get one. I have a beautiful view. I'm not looking at nature this time. I'm looking at history this time. I'm looking at the Heritage Building. I'm looking at the Legislative Building. I'm looking at our downtown. It's really quite lovely. We have our winter festival here in Winnipeg going on, our Festival de Voyageur. We have it every year. It's the largest winter festival in Western Canada, and it's here in Manitoba, and they're promoting it this year. I'm a little bit disappointed that because last year it got canceled, but this year it really should have been canceled too. But I would like to say I understand, but I don't, because I believe in cause and effect. And if even one person gets the coronavirus while they're doing the festival, it's not worth it, right? It's not worth it. And on top of that, it's the same idea with the forts, right? Promoting the forts, making it accessible for people to go there. Yes, they got signs up, keep your distance and stuff, but they know people aren't following the rules, right? And I can see that there are lots of people just way too close to each other. And it's like putting money ahead of people's lives. That's how I feel about it, right? So as long as nobody gets sick, if we can get through this with nobody getting sick, but I wouldn't feel good without saying something, right? Because then I would be responsible if I didn't say anything, and how disappointed I was that they put that kind of value on somebody's life, right? By promoting a business that could promote the virus to move a little bit faster. It's a little bit disappointing and a little bit disheartening that that's going on. But you know what? I'm not the judge and jury, right? I work really hard not to be judgmental, not just with people, but with different organizations. And these are organizations that I want to promote along the way, right? But, everybody's got to make the decisions for themselves, right? Everybody gets to make their own choices. Yeah, Sharon, I really wanted to try these. But yeah, so we'll figure it out. Maybe there'll come a point where I can maybe figure something out where it can go into a garage or something and just leave it running for a couple of weeks. But yeah, for now, maybe I could turn it on for a half an hour here and there, but that's not going to do much good. But because it continuously has to run for 2 weeks. And that's just the first package of grit, right? Oh, Jonathan is here. Jonathan, are you working still? Is your job still going? Let me know. I haven't heard from you in a couple of weeks. I would love to know how the new job is going, and if it's still going good. Let me know in the comments what's going on there. If you haven't popped into my lives before, my name's Cindy. I explore the inside and I explore the outside. On Sunday nights, we explore a little bit of the inside, right? Yeah. But yeah, thank you, Jonathan, for popping in. For those of you, for Jani is actually one of the gentlemen who actually joined me in my mentorship program when we went into determination to get our lives together and to pull ourselves out of that bucket of crabs, right? And make better lives for ourselves. Jonathan was one of the gentlemen who made it through. Only 3 of us made it through that program. Only 3 of us made it through. And me and Jonathan were one of those 3. Yeah. And I would love to know how our teammate who also joined us, how he did, if he was able to get a job. Oh, good job. That's good to hear, Jonathan, that your job is still going good. Perfect. Because we're moving forward. This is just the first step to getting our lives back together, right? My job is going good too. I'm pretty much full-time there. I work 5 days a week, right? So I'm pretty much full-time there. But I need to be full-time while I'm working towards getting the car and getting my glasses. It's important for me to apply myself there and take as many hours as I can. But come this summer, I think I'm going to be going down to 4 days a week. I want to give 3 days. Well, I want to give 2 days to my brand for sure. 1 day maybe for me. But you know what? If I put it towards my brand, I'm good with that too, right? Because my brand is my love. So whatever I do for my brand, I'm doing for myself too. So, I get to go on the back roads, I get to go exploring, I get to do filming. And I'm going to have that extra camera. I'm going to have that extra camera because I'm going to be renewing my contract tomorrow for my phone. So I'm going to get a new phone, which means my old phone will only be a camera from here on in. So I'll just be transferring, and it's got a lot of storage. I've got 64 GB. I got a lot of 64 RAM. Yeah, I got a lot of storage on these phones of mine. So I'm really hoping that having two phones, one will be a camera. And so when I do my What's My Good Cheer, my live shows on Instagram, when I come across a good one, because if I get into a good flow in the morning on my Instagrams, they'll make really, really good YouTube videos. So now I'll be able to make good horizontal videos for YouTube at the same time as I'm doing my vertical live on Instagram. So it's going to work out quite well for me. And to have two full batteries, two phones with full batteries for when I'm out on the back road, and if I have to go away for a couple of, I'll probably have a car, with the charger and everything. It'll all be good. Everything's gonna work out just fine. I just have to remember, I don't really have to make those goals. I don't, right? Those goals are for me to know what direction I'm going in. But I try to leave myself open because things are going to happen the way they're going to, or things are going to play out the way things are going to play out, right? And I just need to leave myself open and just trust that everything is going to be okay, right? Just trust that everything is going to be okay. Really? Oh, you guys are tempting me to turn that machine on. My neighbors will hate me, right? But you guys are all saying how amazing the polisher would work and everything. And yeah, it's sitting on my floor right now. I unplugged it this afternoon. But yeah, it was a brand new tumbler. It had never been used. It had never been used. And I got it for $5, and they're awfully expensive. But yeah, I had them on for an hour, and I think my containers is already biting the dust, right? I filled it right up with my favorite little petals. But like I said, that's not going to stop me from trying. Like even if I can, maybe even after my live tonight here, maybe I could turn it on for another hour. I had an ottoman, and I put my ottoman over it, and it muffled the noise a little bit. But then when it came off the rocker, I couldn't see that it had come off the rocker. And the only way I knew that it had come off the rocker because it sounded a little bit different, right? So I would much rather be able to see the polisher go off so that, I can make sure that everything's running. Because the last thing I want to do is to leave my apartment and leave something like that running, right? Yeah. Oh, Dave's here too. Awesome. Aw, that's cute with your socks off, right? You can't truly, and I've got no socks on right now, but I have these old summer sandals, and they're probably, they've got to be 20 years old. They're pretty ratty looking, like most people they would think, but they're so comfortable, right? And being on concrete floors, it's important to take care of your feet. I want to be riding bikes. I want to be going for walks, right? And I want to be moving around when I'm 80 years old. I truly do. And I appreciate that there are lots of people out there that don't have those opportunities to do that. But you know what? I consider myself to be in pretty good health, right? And if I can maintain that good health, it sure would be nice to be one of those little old ladies that gets on her bike, right? Even if it's three wheels with a big basket on the back, I'm good with that, right? I'm good with that. I don't care if somebody's going to judge me differently, right? I mean, if you're going to come at me, you're going to get a lesson. That's guaranteed. If you come at me, you're going to get a lesson. That's what I'm going to say, right? But it'll always be with love. It'll always be with kindness, right? and you'll walk away feeling better about yourself. And at the same time, like, because I believe in cause and effect, right? Maybe you'll leave a little bit of as a better person, and you'll move forward a little bit because you'll pass those lessons on to other people, right? Oh, I like just to have windows open and everything. I like the cold. It's very rare. I'll blast the heat and I'll open up the windows. We're just coming out of a really, really big cold snap we've had for over a week now. We've had a cold snap for over a week now. And today it was pretty nice today. I could see there were puddles on the road, and we're not too far away from spring, right? Now, I don't know. Have you heard anything about the vaccine? Nancy, I'm not sure if Nancy's still here. She called it a night, but Nancy, if you're still here, have you heard anything about getting vaccines in your apartment building at all? They were saying because of the kind of housing that I live in that I would probably be a priority for getting our shots, right? So, but I haven't heard anything. I don't know if we're going to get noticed by mail, if we're going to have to go somewhere to get the shot, or if they're going to come into the building and give everybody the option to have the shot. But it looks like they're leaving it to people's own choices whether or not to have the shot. And the thing is, because it is cause and effect, and even if you do have the vaccine, this is the thing, even if you do have the vaccine, you can still pass that virus on to other people, because the vaccine doesn't stop you from touching dirty surfaces, right? It just makes you feel a little bit better knowing that you're not going to get the virus and pass the virus on to somebody else that way, right? But if you touch something dirty and then go touch somebody's shoulder or touch their plate or something, they could still get the virus. So it yes, it protects you, but it doesn't protect the people around you. And that's the misconception in the virus, right? Oh, it's age wise, but they got to consider that you could pass that virus on to other people, and because you would be considered vulnerable. I mean, I'm not arguing with you. You know better than I do, Nancy, but that just doesn't seem fair there. Oh, okay. And they've started already. I heard they had almost New York was almost done. Is that true? I heard like New York City is almost done, that everybody is has been getting their vaccines. I think that's absolutely amazing. There are no microchips and government agendas when it comes to giving out the virus. You know, you hear those conspiracy theories, right? And then once somebody believes in a conspiracy theory, then no, what they do is they spread it around like it's truth, and then until everybody's so stressed out. And that's the last thing Nancy needs tonight is a conspiracy theory on top of the day or the week that she's had, right? Holy moly. I can't believe it, Nancy. Just one thing after another. Oh, that's good news. That's good news. That's good to hear. I'm glad to hear. Here in Manitoba, they are doing the indigenous colonies. They're doing all the small tribes and everything up north, all the communities up north. It's part of our retribution, right? We're a reconciliatory province. We did residential schools, right? When we immigrated Canada, when we settled the prairies and stuff like that. Yeah, we took land and we made agreements, and we didn't keep up with the agreements. And so now, 100 years later, we have determined that we're a and this is a good choice. I think this is a good choice in moving forward, because we're trying to make up for the wrongs that we did. Those residential schools screwed people's lives over like desperately. Emotionally, people ruined their lives emotionally and ended up having serious problems their whole lives because we forced them to be like white was what we did. We sent them into schools and forced them to speak English and to eliminate the traditions, their cultures, eliminate like they squashed their cultures, right? Wouldn't even let them speak their own home language. And so yes, here in Manitoba, we are trying to make up our wrongs, and we are a reconciliatory province, and it's important for us to show that respect. And yeah, and because we actually had to fly out the seniors in those communities because those communities are so tightly knit, so close together that virus, it just spreads like weed. It just spreads like weed, right? So we had to fly a lot of those seniors into the city from their communities just to keep them safe. So we decided that we're going to make sure that those communities are vaccinated first. And just what we're doing is we're just in our own way trying to say sorry for what we did 100 years ago, right? We are not responsible for what our parents did. We're not responsible, but sometimes it lands in our laps. And because that's our bloodline, right? That was family that did this to other people. And because again, I believe in cause and effect. It's important for us to make right our wrongs whenever possible, right? So this is how we're doing it. So yes, we're doing the Indigenous colonies. We are doing the seniors' homes. We've already done the nursing community and the medical community, right? So that is good too, right? But I think this is a way for other communities. This is a way for people in general to move themselves forward. Is when you try to right your wrongs, right? When you try to right your wrongs, that will move us move us so forward, right? Yeah. And it's kind of like forgiveness. Forgiveness comes along with that. It's important to forgive people, but lots of times we say we forgive, but we don't truly. We forgive for the necessity of it, for our own emotional well-being, or right, just because we want to be polite and because somebody asked for that forgiveness. But we don't truly forget, and it damages us a little bit because it makes it so we're a little bit less trusting, right? So it's important to find the good in the wrong and try to make it right if we can, right? And that's where true forgiveness and true movement forward can resume, right? Because definitely we want to take our religious communities alongside us, right? These are our shamans. These are our shamans, and these are the ones that we're so in touch with Mother Nature. And it's important for us, like I said, to right our wrongs whenever it's possible. Sometimes we don't have that opportunity. The people we've wronged have either moved 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 away in their lives, or they have passed away, or they just not around. So sometimes we have to make up for what we've done wrong by finding another way and just acknowledging, okay, I did this, right? I did this. So, I'm going to do this just to, right? Not to make right or wrong, but because it's the right thing to do, right? Because it's the right thing to do. That was what I meant to say, right? Knowing right from wrong. And when you've done wrong, try to do something right to make up so that guilt to shame is not so heavy. And I think, relieving some of that guilt and shame that this province has done wrong by the people and the members that have left, and the communities that have lived here for decades and hundreds of years, actually thousands of years, right? And it's got to make us feel good. It's got to alleviate some of that guilt and shame, and it will move us forward, right? Because we're realizing that we're no good. Again, we can't survive unless we have that person that's sitting next to us 100%. Yeah, I'm kind of worried about that, Andrew, what kind of reaction I am going to have, because I have reactions from the flu vaccines. The couple of times that I took the flu vaccines, both times I had really serious reactions, and those reactions lasted. One lasted 11 months, the other one lasted 9 months. The first time I had my feet and my legs go on me. I could barely stand. I couldn't think. I couldn't sleep. The pain was absolute constant. And that happened the day after I took my first flu shot. Um, I never took a flu shot again for a few years later, because I thought, I heard that sometimes you have reactions, and I attributed my leg and my feet, because it happened the very next morning, to the flu shot that I had gotten at my work, right? But as the years pass by, you kind of second guess yourself. And I kind of said, well, maybe it wasn't the flu shot. Maybe it was just chance. Maybe it was just a fluky accident that had happened at the same time. And I went ahead and I got that flu shot, the flu shot again. And the very next day I got the exact same thing happen to me, but this time it happened in my arm, and my whole arm went on me for 9 months. It went on me, and it was so hard, because I would wake up with pins and needles every single day, and it would take hours and hours for that numbness and that pain and that heat and that tingliness. It was like electricity going up and down my arm. All Sometimes it would be like noon before it would go away, before I could function properly again, right? But yeah, I've been having a little bit of that again lately, but I just figure that's just like the ascension pains and stuff, right? So I'm not attributing too much to it, but yeah, I have been noticing the Charlie horses, and the cramping, and the pins and needles in the arms and stuff. But I am afraid to take that vaccine for the coronavirus, for that plague that we've got going on right now. But I'm going to do it anyway, because I do believe in cause and effect, and I not so much that I care that I get the virus, because I consider myself to be a fairly healthy person. I don't take any medications. I don't suffer headaches. I've never so much as had a bleeding nose or a broken bone in my entire life, right? So I'm fairly healthy. So I know I would probably get through that virus. But the thing is, who would I pass that virus on to? What if I pass that on to somebody in the building that I live in? There are lots of honorable in this apartment building, lots of people in this building who are not wearing their mask, and they're on the same elevator as me. I find it extremely frustrating. But the same thing, when I practice kindness, I find I'm just too kind to them. Oh, don't worry about it. You'll remember to wear your mask the next time, or right? Or it's okay. I've got my mask on. I'll just sit in this corner. But I shouldn't have to explain myself. You should just know, when you're in public spaces, just like the sign says in this building, you should be wearing your mask, right? So again, I don't care so much that I'm going to get the virus, but what I do care about is spreading it to vulnerable. I have a lady at work whose mother is in her late 80s. So even when we close the store at night and everybody's whipping off their face masks at the end of the night, right? Oh, thank goodness the door's locked, the store's over, and everybody takes their mask off. But I leave my mask on, right? Because I work with a lady who could take that virus home to her mom. Like, who's to say that I didn't come in contact during that course of that shift with somebody who had the coronavirus, and I didn't properly squirty my hands down? I've passed it on to her, and now she's going to go home and pass it on to her mom. At the very least, if something happens to her mom, I know that I won't be responsible for. And I try to be loud enough to say, right? And when everybody says, oh, thank goodness the store's closed and the door's locked, that I could take my mask off now, I always say, oh, I'm not taking my mask off because we're watching out for Debbie's mom, right? Right? We don't want her mom to get sick. So I'm leaving my mask on, hoping that they'll get the message and they'll do the same thing, right? That they'll do the same thing and decide to keep their mask on too, right? Right, Jonathan? but yes, too, and I wanted to talk about that. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about that on my on next Sunday, right? Next Sunday we'll talk a little bit about that, about how our fears affect our health, right? How the things in our emotions and the things we whip up with our mind can actually make it really difficult us to function day to day, whether we do get headaches or we do have sleeping problems. My sister has really bad sleeping. What did you call it there? Paralysis. My sister has that too. She gets up like every single morning at 1 o'clock in the morning, and she'll stay up for hours and hours and hours. And then she'll go back to sleep for 1 hour and then get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go off to work. And she has done this every single day, all of her life, right? But these are the habits because of our emotional issues, our stresses, our worries that we put in place to keep ourselves safe, right? To keep ourselves safe because we don't want to deal with our emotions. But yeah, we can talk about, maybe we'll do a live next week or the week after on that topic. But yeah, I see what you're talking about, Jonathan, for sure, right? But it's our fears, right? Because the dark part of our lives understands and totally realizes, because they know how our blood pressures go and how we react emotionally when we're put in a situation that makes us uncomfortable. So they know how to twist us and turn us and make us go in the directions that they want us to go, right? So that's what I've got to say about that, right? Yeah, sometimes we have to figure out ways not to think of the scary part of it, right? And I try not to think about it too often, about how I'm going to react to that flu shot. But I know the flu shot will work, and if I have to suffer through some kind of allergy or some kind of reaction from that flu shot, I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway, because I know I'm going to have you guys to support me when I go, oh, my feet hurt, right? But maybe I'll ask them to give me the shot, because I don't know. Maybe one time they gave it into my thigh, and then the other time they gave it into the arm, and that's why I had issues in those spots. But maybe I could pick a spot that maybe won't hurt me as much, right? Maybe I'll say, can I have the shot in the butt, right? Maybe the butt won't hurt, right? I don't stand on my butt, but I do sit on my butt, right? But I could sleep on my belly. I could sleep on my belly, and I did that when I got shingles, right? When I got shingles from the smallpox. It was the smallpox that I had. No, chicken pox. When I had chicken pox when I was a baby. Oh, right. I was never a napper. How many people here are nappers? How many people here like to take naps during the course of the day? I've never ever been a napper. The only time that I ever take naps during the course of the day is when I come back from camping. When I come back from a trip, I won't even unload the car. I will just walk into my apartment, have a shower, and just crawl into bed, and I will sleep then. And that way I usually will wake up in the early evening and have a late night. And that's when I usually put my camping gear and stuff away, right? Yeah, I've never taken naps. And yet my all my sisters take naps. All of them. And I have never been one for napping. But then again, I'm one of those people that, I believe that I'm going to miss something exciting. If I take a nap, I'm going to miss something exciting, or I'm not going to accomplish something. So maybe that's a little bit of my ego there, right? A little bit of my ego there saying, oh, Cindy, you can't take a nap, right? Doesn't matter how tired you are. Keep going, right? Who knows? I am a good sleeper. And like I said, it worried me a little bit when I moved into this apartment and I wasn't sleeping well. And I wasn't sleeping well when I moved into this apartment. And it bothered me when I had to get up to go to work, and my standard of work does not change. It doesn't matter if I am tired or if I'm fully rested, my standard of work does not change. So if I'm tired and I'm beaten up and I go to work, I give it the exact same thing, right? The exact same energy. And that will wipe me out even more. So that's how come you guys, when I come live in the evening, that you guys can actually see how tired I really am, because I am truly, truly tired. And because it's my opportunity, right? Because I understand that the more I give, the more I get, the more I put into this, and the more I spread my sunshine out there, how important it is for us to spread our sunshine, even if we're not feeling good, right? So I am putting full energy and full force into my days when I go to work. So when I come home, I am done, but yet I have to reach deep down into the core all over again, right? All over again. I have to, because I've got lives to do. I have the responsibility of my lives, right? And I do take them on as a responsibility, not just for myself to show that I can do this, but I now am at the point where I have people that look forward and are waiting for me to come live, right? And part of their day is evolved around my lives. And I wish I could be a little bit more consistent in my lives. But you know what? I'm consistent by going 2 times a day, even though I know I should cut it back to 1. But the thing is, we're moving forward. We're not going backwards. So if anything, I'm going to add something else to the plate. I'm not taking anything off the plate, right? That is funny, Dave. That is funny. Yeah, I'm a dead sleeper. As soon as I hit the pillow, I put my blanket over my head and a little breathing hole for the fan so the air can get to me. And yeah, I crash. I sleep really, really good. And it doesn't matter whether I've had 4 hours sleep or I've had 8 hours sleep, right? As long as it's solid, it has to be like go to sleep, close your eyes, and then just wake up. But when I'm waking up to Charlie horses or pains in my arm, right? Or it's too hot, or I'm not getting any air, or I'm thinking about the lesson for the morning. I don't do that very often, though. I usually go right into my live in the morning, and I hit that live button, and I trust that spirit's just going to take over, and I'm going to have a great live. And if you haven't been to any of my Instagram lives, I go live on Instagram, Prairie Dodgers, all of my platforms, people. Anytime that you guys want to come on to any of my platforms, I go live every single day, twice a day on Instagram. I go live for an hour and a half every Sunday night on my YouTube. And I'm looking forward to making new content. And like I said, I'm going to get my phone contract redone tomorrow. I'm going to have a new phone, and I will have this amazing phone, because this is an amazing phone. If you guys are ever looking for something this is a big phone. I've had this for a couple of years, and yeah, it's been really good to me. I really love the Google Pixel. I love all the storage. I love that my pictures are directly sent to my Google Photos, right? We don't get that perfect quality, that high definition 4K quality for free anymore. But if I want to upload in original quality, I can do that too, right? But that takes up storage. But I have over 4,000 photos now. I have over 4,000 photos on my Google Photos. A lot of it is junk because, like I said, right, I was selling a lot of my things, and a lot of those things are just items that I kept the pictures only because I wanted to show everybody the different ways that I survived, the different ways different things that I sold to help pay my rent and keep a roof over my head and keep groceries in the cupboard. So I saved all those pictures, right? I saved all those pictures. And yet here I am sitting right now in this beautiful little apartment, and I'm so pleased, right? I'm so pleased with how it all came together for me. And I stressed out for months and months. I had 3 months of clothes packed, And I went through all my summer clothes this week with my sister. I was pretty excited to see all the clothes I bought for summer from my work. We opened up the bag. Everything in the bag had to go. Every single item. Oh my goodness, it was all my fat clothes. It was all my nothing fit. Everything was stained and dirty. And I looked at stuff and I went, oh my goodness, I'm so spoiled now. I have such beautiful clothes in my closet, so many beautiful clothes that I wear for work, and my taste has changed. And when it comes to clothing, my taste has changed tons, and I had to get rid of it all. So yeah, I've got lots of amazing clothes, but I have very few summer clothes. So I'm going to have to pick my clothes very closely in the next couple of months, because now's the time to get the summer clothes, because right once summer starts, then people will be turning in their winter clothes because they switch them out, right? They switch their winter with their summer and stuff. So we'll be getting winter clothes in another month. They should start rolling into the store. But right now we have a lot of summer clothes on the shelves, right? So yeah, I need to pick through them. I have to keep an eye open for some summer sandals and stuff. So like I said, I am not buying new clothing ever again. Nothing. I'm not buying any kind of clothing brand new ever again. It's always going to be secondhand clothing for me from here on in. This will be my way of showing to the world that we can dress well and we can dress inexpensively and we could do it on a budget, right? That you don't have to have the big money. I might buy a couple of Pakistani suits. I really love the beautiful Pakistani suits with the tight pants and the satin suits, tunics with the embroidery and the gem work and stuff all over them. They're very, very pretty. I wouldn't mind a couple of those. I would do a TEDx talk in a Pakistani suit, right? Yeah, if any one of the Pakistani ladies out there would love to go live with me, I would love to have you come live with me on Instagram. Anybody here, anybody on my YouTube lives, like anytime you want to come live, I go live every single morning. I go live. If you ever see me live, pop in, request to go live with me. I'm happy to have a chit chat, happy to chit chat about absolutely anything. Yeah, you're very learned there, Andrew. You're very learned. You always have those answers when I'm talking about the movies or talking about a book. You always know the title, not just the title. You know the author and you know the stories and everything too. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't read a lot of books. I actually picked up a book this way. Uh Jeff Jeffrey Gitomer's Little Gold Book of Yes Attitude. This is the book that I got today. It was a quarter, so I thought I would pick it up, and it has different lessons and different quotes and everything. And he's a no guff kind of guy. He definitely is. He's set in his own ideas, and you could tell right away he's not a guy that budges from what he believes in. And none of us should. We should all have different ideas because we all resonate differently in life, right? And a lot of the stuff that I put out there, a lot of people wouldn't get. Maybe you'll get some of it, maybe you won't get some of it, but it doesn't really matter in the end, right? Because in the end, all it is learning to be kind to each other, just learning to be a little bit supportive and learning to understand that it takes all kinds to make the world. Oh, that's a good way to end the live, right? Because it is true. It does take all kinds to make the world. Now, I just wanted to catch. Oh, The Ghost of Mrs. Muir. I like that one. That was Debbie Reynolds. Wasn't that Debbie Reynolds? I think it was Debbie Reynolds was in that one. Yeah, I really like that one where with the sailor, right? The ghost who was the sailor. I think that was the one. Oh, or maybe it was the original one, right? Because they turned it into a musical. But the first one It had, what's her name? She's still alive too. She's 93 or 94 years old and she's still alive. And she lives in Hawaii. She lives in the islands and her name is, and she did the John Wayne movie, right? And she did How Green Is My Valley with Roddy McDowell. Oh, what's her name? What's her name? You guys, here we go. Andrew knows. Andrew knows. I talk about her all the time because she's one of my favorite actresses. But for whatever reason, I'm having a little bit of a brain fart, right? I'm trying to think what her name is. It's driving me crazy. But that's okay. It doesn't matter in the end, really, does it? But and I even forgot. Oh, we were talking about the Ghost of Mrs. Muir, right? But I think they did turn it into a musical. I think with Debbie Reynolds and some British actor, right, who played a sailor. But I think in the original one, it was what was her? Maureen O'Hara. That was her name, Maureen O'Hara, right? Originally, it was Maureen O'Hara. I think was it, and when she had a little short. She had a little short bob, right? And then she grew her hair long for the rest of her movies. And that's why I couldn't figure out what the name of this actress was for sure, because she looks so different. Okay, everybody. I guess that's my live show for tonight. Yeah, everybody, anytime you want to come and hang out with me on YouTube or on Instagram, I go live twice a day over there. And slowly, my people from Instagram, they'll be popping over here. They might not be quite ready to jump into the comments and connect with you guys. But I have people from all over the world, and people should know that they should feel comfortable coming in. And Kim, I saw you pop in. Kim, thank you so much for popping in. I hope everything is going okay for you and that you're managing during this time during the coronavirus, right? But everybody, Sharon, Andrew, Owen, right? Everybody. Wasn't it nice to see Norm tonight? Norm came in. Oh, Aman's here tonight too. Yay. See, Aman is from my Instagram too. So isn't that amazing that slowly people are coming over here over to YouTube too, right? And joining us here. And it's great. And you guys will all get to know each other because we all love the same light. Don't we all love the same light? We're all attracted to it. And right. And it's about lifting each other up. It's about holding each other up and just realizing that, we're nothing without the person standing next to us. And I hope everybody, Nancy, I hope to hear from you soon. I hope you sort out your internet issues. And I really hope that you stay safe, right? In that apartment. Let's get you out of there as soon as you can. Soon of us, will get a windfall. And that's what we'll do. We'll take care of the ones who take care of us, right? And that's what we do here. Okay, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you next Sunday. And yeah, maybe you guys will be introduced to what's my good cheer during the week. Give me your feedback. Let me know what you think of it. If I do what's my good cheer, it'll be a few times a week. Only my best lives, and I will put them up there. Okay, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you next Sunday. Night, everybody.